Floyd Money Mayweather made some controversial comments. And the reason why I say it's controversial is because this is the issue that I find with the black community. And this is why this whole talk about white people are the ones who are holding black people down and stuff like that. I don't agree with that. We are the ones that hold each other down the most. And the reason why I'm saying this is because I want you to hear this clip of what he said when it came to everything that's going on with Diddy right now.
I'm not going to speak bad about P. Diddy because he's still a black man. Mistakes happen, and I can't say if it is or it's not a mistake, but things happen in life. And P. Diddy business is P. Diddy business. It's not my job or anyone else's job to go on the internet and stump him and kick a man while he's down. My take on it is it's not my business. I don't think it's right at all, and I don't condone it. Even if that happened to my daughter, I would be hurt. But that's a choice that my daughter made. That's a choice that my daughter made. That's a choice that my daughter made.
That's the choice that my daughter made.
He's an idiot. Don't listen to he's an idiot.
I don't want to kick nobody while they're down.
See, that is the biggest horse crap. Like that's some bull jive. And see, that's the issue in the black community. Just because you're black doesn't mean that if you're wrong, I'm not going to call you out. And this notion of, oh, he's a black man, I'm not going to kick him while his back is down. It's not my, no, you're a person who should speak up on these things. To me, that's just conveying the bad behavior that's prevalent within the black community. Like you're basically not to say that you're saying it's okay, but it's like you're giving a pass for this man. Why? Because he has money, because he's in your tax bracket. And then for you to say, if that was my daughter, yeah, I would be hurt. Like, come on now. That's cap. I strongly believe that's cap. You're giving a PC answer just to not make this guy look bad. Just think about all the heinous things that this man did to his own people. The people that look like me, the people that look like you, his own kind. But yet you're not going to speak up about it. You're just going to be hush hush about it. I don't agree with it whatsoever.
The thing is, it's hard. He is a person who has daughters, and you
Is it?
saying you sitting there saying that's her choice. No, that's not her choice. You're her dad. Your job is to protect her. Your job
So,
is to make sure that people like that are not getting a pass. Because my thing is, if you're condoning that, you probably hiding some skeletons.
see, here's the thing, right? I'll say this. I could say in his case, if his daughter did that or whatever, like whatever happened with Diddy, if his daughter did succumb to that, I can agree that that was her choice. Why do I say this? Because Floyd Mayweather has money. So there's no reason why the daughter shouldn't be able to go to her dad for money or whatever the case may be. But let's look at the average woman who doesn't have it like that. So now you go under P. Diddy, like how alleged Cassie was under P. Diddy, and she was acquiescing to all the things that he wanted to do because he had the money and she didn't want to lose that source of income. And on top of that, she could be blackballed because this guy has so much power. So it's her choice to succumb to a person that has power, that's basically threatening you, that's telling you, hey, I got connections with the cops. Hey, I'll make sure that your career never goes nowhere. Hey, you have nothing. You're gonna lose this support system of money. How is that her choice?
At the end
And
of the day,
Vic make a good point. He said George Floyd is a saint in the black community. You can't even say a joke on him. And I guess he's making a reference to George Floyd was a criminal. Now, of course, the way he died was heinous, but one can say the way he lived his life led up to these events. That you can say was a choice as far as the lifestyle that he lived ultimately led up to that event, so to speak. Now, I'm not saying that it's right at all. Not at all. But my thing is for you to say that it's the woman's choice. Yeah, man, you just don't know how it is to be like to be manipulated and groomed. Like,
Yes. Oh, and that's what I was gonna say. Yes, the manipulation part is bad. The grooming part is bad. But ultimately, these are people's decisions, though. You're in these kind of relationships because that's what you wanted to do. You could have left at any point. Yes. Would you have still had the money? No. So it's how much of this do you think is because of the money? How much of this is because they didn't have the right family structure? How much of this is because they did not know what an effective relationship is? Because though all of those things to me tie in all together. If you
uh,
one didn't have healthy relationships around you, you don't know what to expect.
but
If
Erica,
you
but Erica P, you got to look at it like this from Cassie's point of view, right? Who's close to Diddy, who you was allegedly abused, who it's allegedly saying that this man might have had a hand in the demise of Tupac and Biggie. This man allegedly paid Shine to take the rap for a crime that he might have committed. So I hear you saying, "Oh, you could have left. You had a choice." But when you're manipulated and groomed and you have somebody that's abusing you and they tell like they're saying, "Hey, I got in good with the cops, yada yada. They're on my payroll, blase blah, all these different connections." You really think a person who was ingratiated with you as a teenager is really gonna think to themselves, "Yes, I can walk away like that"?
but ultimately she did, and I think that's the problem that people fail to realize. When she decided she was officially done, she left. Somebody helped you get out, and then you spoke about it years later.
But do you
So
think it was a
no,
case but do you think it was a case that Diddy was done with her, where she was now able to walk away?
it don't matter what the circumstance is. You ultimately left. You ultimately came out with your story. So yes, there you probably could have left 5 years before you did actually leave. But then you also have the ones that keep going back. So I don't know. In those situations, it's hard because when you're going through it, you don't know how to escape it. You don't. But ultimately, these are people that made these choices. You did. You wanted to be famous. You wanted to have a hit record. You wanted to be with somebody who was influential. Because at the end of the day, when he pushed up on you the first time, you could have said no. When he pushed up on you the second time, you could have said no. You could have left that industry. You could have figured out something else. And I'm saying this on the outside looking in because no, I've never been in that industry. But then you hear the stories all the time about the victims and the ones who don't get out. And you see this stuff on the news all the time. So, yes, I'm not blaming them, but I am saying, hey, there was a conscious decision at one point or another. They both made the decision to either continue being in the kind of relationship they were in or to figure out their exit strategy.
So what about the ones that did wind up leaving? Because you have countless stories of people wind up leaving and then the abuser deletes them.
That is true. But that is more on on that particular individual, not the person who got away. That was on their their other counterpart.
I
That
understand
is
that, but
because
what I'm saying
something
is
for
that
them was
that's
not correct.
but that makes it more hard pressed for a person to make the decision to walk away.
Correct, but you can't tell me that these people didn't see in some kind of red flag in the beginning. You saw the red flags in the beginning and you overlooked them too. So you don't just full-fledged get in these situations. They happen slowly over time. Think about how long she was with him. Think about how many of the other people that were with him. Think about it. You had one had multiple kids, off and on relationships with him. So it's not just, hey, this one person, but it was still, hey, she was a model and you like that lifestyle. And that's what you were interested in. When you have people in those type of environments, they will deal with that stuff because they know that's what comes with that territory. And the people who are on the outside who don't know what what those parties are and that lifestyle is, you don't worry about it. You don't. Because
Look,
you know in a million years you'll never be in those same social circles.
look, I understand and I agree. Yes, it is a choice, but sometimes those choices to make are harder than you actually think. And when you
Oh,
see a
hands
man that
down.
had and when you see a man that had power, that has connections and ties with powerful people, and it's alleged that he had his hands on a lot of deletions, that's gonna give
But
you a cause to pause.
but think about it. Sometimes it ain't even that person. Sometimes it's their family putting that person out there. You know how many of them mamas and daddies be like, "Hey, let's go get you out there." So I know it's not just on that person. I wholeheartedly get that part. But at the end of the day, at one point or another, you were able to say, "Hey, I'm not doing this no more," or "Hey, this is this not for me." But the problem is, if you're so driven on, I want to be in this industry, in this career, yes, you will do whatever it takes to get there.
Yeah, but okay, like in the case of Vince McMahon, I forgot what the lady's name was that was a victim, right? So, being the fact that she was a victim of SA, when she did decide to walk away, she was blackballed from any other wrestling enterprise or whatever the case may be. Name was tarnished, the whole nine, because this man has power. She wind up putting up a lawsuit, you know, to try and get some type of reparations. She lost the lawsuit. She lost the case. So now, not only do I have no income, I'm blackballed from everything. She wind up deleting herself. So that's what I'm saying. Like, it's easy to say you have a choice, but then when you think about the outcome that could happen, that's a hard choice to make, especially if you don't have nothing. Those
Like I
aren't
said,
easy choices to make.
I get they're not easy choices. I wholeheartedly do. But just like the opposite, they could have never went into that industry and figured out something else. These people, if you they could have been doctors and lawyers and anything else that they wanted to be.
Yeah, but how
They
you gonna
chose the
say
fame.
Yeah, but how you gonna say that they could have went into another if that's the passion that they wanted? If that their passion was, I want to be a wrestler, you're gonna go into wrestling. It's easy in hindsight to say, oh, you should have been a doctor, this, that, and the third. Well, I didn't have a heart. I didn't have the heart to be a doctor. What if I can't stomach looking at blood, or I can't stomach cutting somebody open and all of this stuff? So
Correct,
again,
but
it's
think about it
easy
though,
to say
this is
that.
still their choice though. You chose to wanna be in the field that you wanna be in. So
I'm
you
not
chose
dis-
to
I'm
decide
not
if
I'm not
what you can take or
disagreeing with
not.
you. I'm not disagreeing with you that it's their choice. But what I'm saying is you're making it seem like that choice was that easy to make. And we see countless of situations that people that make that choice to walk away, it winds up they get deleted or whatever the case may be. So that may make you cause to pause to say, yo, I need to bide my time till I can actually have a solid exit strategy where I know I'm safe. So sometimes it's not that cut and dry. You got to buy your time. So in the meantime of you biding your time, guess what's going to happen? You're going to suffer at the hands of the abuser because the time
Correct.
isn't right yet.
Which and like I said, I wholeheartedly get that point. I do. But when it happened the first time and that person decided to stay, those were active choices that they made too. Because they don't just go from Dr. Jekyll to Mr. Hyde. There's usually some things in between.
Erica, a person that is abuser and manipulative and all of these things, they don't show that side till they got you right where they want you. You don't just do it in the open. No. After you groomed them and got them exactly where you want them, where you know they have nowhere to run to. They need to rely on you. They're dependent on you. That's when the acting out starts. So again, it's not that cut and dry. You're talking men or people that have arms that reach all across the world. That's how much power they have.
Correct. And like I said, I wholeheartedly get what you're saying. But the thing is, when you decide to deal with those kind of people and you know you have a limited set of skills, you either need to decide if you're all in or if you're going to utilize what they're giving you to make sure that you're either stashing it away or learning a skill or doing something else. That's where these people get trapped at
You're not
because their
understanding.
life revolves around that one person.
Look at Diddy, right? Look at now how all the people are starting to come out and say all these things. But during this time, these people that saw these things, nobody said nothing because they knew the power that this guy had. The only reason why people are coming out now to say something is because the light is shined on them to the point any move he make is going to come back and bite him in the butt. That's when you see people are emboldened to actually start saying things.
But think about it.
So
To me, is this
until then, you're saying if you walk into a place and you see how the situation is, those people around are gonna keep it hush and make everything is hunky dory because they understand the amount of power this person has, and they might
I
be a
get it.
casualty as well.
And like I said, I get it, but that's why you have these people like that because people weren't stepping up soon enough. You wait and 10 and 20 years later, it at this point it's like all of the damage is done. You're doing it now when the damage has been going on for the last 20 years.
Because they're afraid to lose their lives. They're afraid that their families might lose their lives. Like there's so many things that can go into it.
I get it, but my thing is people more and more people should have gotten together sooner
You're not getting
because
it
guess
because
what? I really don't. I don't. You want people to step up and you want communities to come together, but they can't come together because people keep hushing them down. That is a problem for me. It is. Because
yes,
I'm
but
looking at this like the Bill Cosby thing from a few years back. I'm looking at it like the Harvey Weinstein stuff from a few years back. I'm looking at all of the stuff that came out with all of the top TV channel stations
Erica P,
and the broadcast stations.
You're the same person who I made the argument about how these what is it? People screaming FTP. These what do they call them? SJWs. What was the joke that I said before? Social justice warriors, but it's street justice warriors. All these street justice warriors are talking about FTP and all this stuff. But then when I made an argument saying, yo, the guy that went and shot up the Asian church, they tied this guy up in a nice little boat and held him down for the cops to come get him, right? But yet, when the one I forgot what his name was, it Peyton Gentron? I don't remember exactly who it was, but when they went up and shot up a place, oh, all the people in the black community should have band together and did XYZ. Your argument was, yo, people aren't gonna stick together like that because hey, you got to worry about you and this, that, and the third. Like these were arguments that you made, but now you're saying, oh, these people should have came out and said whatever. No, if you're saying they was worried about losing their life, then how are you going to turn around and say they're good? They should have made this decision for a person that has worldwide power where their arms reach, where they beat cases for deleting people allegedly, and all of this stuff. But yet, you can't see her situation and her dilemma. You can't see that.
I can't see it when you actively stayed. And then you only talked about it because there was a check being attached. Yes, that's a problem for me. If you was coming out talking just because you want to talk, that's one thing. But the minute you're going, oh, times aren't good and I want a paycheck, now I want to come and talk, that's a problem for me because I don't see it the same. I don't give you the same, I don't give you the same credit. I give a victim credit when it's due. If you were a victim and you came out and talked about it and there was no strings attached, wholeheartedly, I'm good with it. But you're only coming out now because you want a settlement check. That's a problem.
Yeah, well, you're coming out now because you want a settlement check because you're looking at it as I have no source of income, I have nothing, yada yada. And this is the man that did this to me. This is the man that blackballed me. This is the man that made my life hard for me to get money. So it's kind of like if you get hurt at a job or something and that injury can't allow you to work no more, you're going to go get a lawsuit and sue for punitive damages because that literally affected you from getting future employment. Strategic said, how is what Erica's saying any different than what P said about dressing sexy and not having sympathy? The reason why I say it's different is because these, like, I understand it's a choice, right? But these are women who are electing to dress provocative, no manipulation or anything is involved, no grooming, no anything. It's just these women are actively dressing this way, and men are literally saying, yo, you shouldn't dress this way because of XYZ. I see that different than a person who is interested in somebody for whatever the case may be, and that person manipulates them and groom them and put them in a corner where now they basically have a hard choice to make. Either I walk away and bad things can happen to me, or I stay and try to work out an exit strategy. I don't know. I see them as different. I see them as different. Okay.
Unfortunately,
Oh, he said I'm agreeing with you all. Speak. Okay.
which and I get it, but like I said, I see it differently, and I feel like as a woman, these are things that our mothers and our aunts should be telling us. When you start dating people, these are the things that you're supposed to look out for. You can't go, I want the money and not know what these strings attached are. You
Look,
knew what those strings were. He clearly
look,
was saying, hey, this is what you need to do to continue to get whatever benefits you're getting.
look, Erica P. I was a pookie growing up, right? Yes, yes, I was a pookie. And when it came to me having access to cheeks, I would say whatever needs to be said to keep the access to cheeks. And like I said, man, I know the very first episode of Matter of Opinion, I said this, but I'll say this again for those who didn't hear it. I had a woman propose to me that I was with. I knew I did not want to marry this woman. So, in order for me to get out of that marriage situation, I lied and said a family member passed away. So, what I'm saying is, if somebody has the intentions of manipulation and you can't fact check it or whatever the case may be, it's kind of hard to not get manipulated. Yes, yes, yes. Simp Wally. Yes, 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 yes. Look, man, I wasn't trying to lose access to the cheeks, like, but since then, I've grown from that, and I was like, "Yo, this is wrong, yada yada," and kept it, kept it a buck. Dude, we're talking early 20s, so it is what it is. It is what it is.
It's a matter of opinion.